Hello and welcome to EV Review Ireland. My name is Derek Reilly. Today we're looking at the Audi e-tron and it's specifically the S version. So let's get straight into it. Beautiful looking car, very stunning on the road, a big head turner, and especially in this Navara blue, which was was originally on the combustion engine sport versions, but now it is available on the e-tron version. Comes in 8 colours in total, the full range if you want it. Let's start off at the front. Really strong creases. The e-tron is based on the Q7 platform, so it is that size and shape. You have your LED lights and you can get them with matrix spec. How would you know that this is the S version? Normally you would have a silver splitter at the front down here, and you'd have these inserts either side in silver. This version has the black package on it. You will see it has the S badge on it. It has e-tron in underneath. Very similar to a lot of the e-trons. This will probably be the Q. They're going to give it a number rather than just e-tron because it's getting a small bit confusing. And you have active air in underneath, and you have that kind of open slot grille on the front to it. It has the 360-degree cameras, it has the parking sensors, but overall a beautiful front, a beautiful stance on the road, and there is a small frunk in underneath there. Moving down along the side, you have some active air slots on it. The S version has a 23mm wheel arch extension either side, so nearly 50mm width overall compared to the regular version. You don't have roof rails on this. You have e-tron badging with the orange either side. On the left hand side you have AC only, and that can take 11 kilowatts, and on the other side you have the DC connector as well, the CCS, and that will take AC as well because it is a CCS connector. It can take up to 150 kilowatts, 155 kilowatts. So on AC it'll take about 13 hours 45 minutes on a regular 7 kilowatt home charger. On DC, if you can find one that will give it 155 kilowatts, it'll go 10 to 80% in 20 odd minutes, 23 minutes or something like that. Wheels, on the website, initially I was looking at it, you can get them in 20s and 21s. I can see on the configurator that if you want to, you could put 19s on it. But these ones are Bridgestones and there are Alanzas, and size-wise, they are, just give me a second, I think they're the 20s. They're 21s actually. So 21s are there. You have some some gloss black along the side. You don't have keyless entry on this. On the standard S you have a kind of a brushed aluminium wing mirror, whereas this one has the gloss black. These are retractable. Disappointed about the keyless entry on this version. There is a recess for it, so potentially you could get it. Has the privacy windows. Look how long it is, it's massive. And again, you've got your wheel arches at the back, you've got your spoiler, you've got your LED rear lights, but we'll talk about that once we get around the back. But presence on the road, the colour of this, the fact that they have blacked out elements of it, looks really, really good. Let's have a look around the back. Down along the back of the Audi e-tron S, you have your shark fin aerial, you have a large spoiler, you've got your high level brake light, you've got your rear window wiper, you've got your side to side LED brake light and that brake bar. Audi badge, e-tron S badging on this. In Ireland it just comes as an S, and other European markets you get the Quattro 50 and the Quattro 55, but there's only one version here. You've got reflectors, you've got your parking sensors, and then you've got this kind of rear diffuser, and again normally it'll be in kind of that brushed aluminium look. And there's my plover assistant. Des, if you're watching, you spotted him the last time, you spotted him again today. But overall beautiful. Really nice, and the fact that the chargers are up the front, you're driving in, so a lot of people are going to see this reversing out. Then it is a electric tail lift, large rear storage area, boot, trunk, whatever you want to call it. 660 litres with the seats up, 1600 odd litres with the seats down. It has a subwell in underneath as well, some beautiful tie-off points, some pull tabs to let the seats down. You've got your shopping bag hooks, you've got 12 volt, and you've got some nice LED strips in there as well. Some people put the charging cables in here underneath. You can take up a full cable, and some people put them up the front in the front storage area or the frunk. But yeah, let's have a look on the inside. What's it like in the front of the Audi e-tron S? Beautiful door, great size, great heft, and it has nice, soft, good quality fabric and materials. But this car weighs 2.6 tons, 2,646 kgs. So with all of this luxury, you're going to get that weight. So it has nice squidgy rubberized plastic on the top. It has your lock and unlock. It has all your electronics here with regards to retractable wing mirrors, your front and rear electric windows, and then your locks if you want them. And it has the driver and passenger have electronically adjustment, and the driver has memory, two sets, and it has the button for the electronic tail lift. It has a lovely illuminated S badge on the sill. Seats are gorgeous with this diamond effect and the S embossing. So you're going to get some S's around the place on the steering wheel, on the mode selector, the gear selector, and then on the seats as well. Beautiful seats. So on this model that I have, you have the flat bottom steering wheel. There is our welcome music. Lots of, this has the virtual cockpit, what am I trying to say? This has the upgraded virtual cockpit, so large screen, and you can change multiple different views, whether it's driver assists, whether it's music, whether it's your phone, whether it's nav. And then the bottom right hand corners, you can have it with regards to what range you have. I would like to see a battery percentage somewhere. That's one thing that I can't find in it anywhere. And then whether you're taking energy or putting energy back in. It has the time, external temperature, which is 8 degrees today, and it has automatic headlights. A lot of glass black going on in here, and if we think about this car came out in 2019. It is getting a facelift in 2022 with a different battery setup, so you're going to be getting better efficiency. On the right hand above my knee, you've got your lights. It's automatic. It has front fogs and rear, and then underneath you have a little storage area. On the steering wheel itself, you have your list view on the left hand side with some metal elements to it with some gloss black, but they're physical buttons and they're haptic, they're regular buttons, no haptic. On the right hand side then it is voice and phone. Behind that then you've got your regen. Somebody sat into this and said, oh, that's automatic, you can go through the gears, and I was like, no, it's the regen paddles. On the left hand side you've got your lights, and on the right hand side you've got your wipers. Cruise control in underneath. It has reach and rake, manually adjusted. We talked about the virtual cockpit. This has the upgraded MMI system as well. So it has a large screen here with your typical Audi menu, which is great. Home, radio, music, phone, nav, and then it has all the different tiles. Very responsive, nicely set up angle-wise. Underneath that then you have your dual zone. You can get it in multi-zone. This screen also turns into, so if you go to nav, it turns into a keyboard, and you can also do some writing on it. You have your volume knob, you've got your parking cameras, your driver assist, your start stop button with a red. You have this nice drive mode selector, and it has reverse, neutral, drive or sport. And then you have the parking button on the side, an electronic handbrake behind it. Then you've got this kind of large transmission tunnel kind of a setup. I would like a full cover over, but it has a cover over kind of a storage area, and that has some pop out coffee cup holders. It has the phone port. It has a 12 volt, it has 2 USB type A's, and then an average sized cubby holder behind that. Nice stitching on it. This has the package for the ambient lighting. So overall, the inside of the e-tron S, it's large, it is beautifully made, and a decent sized glove box as well. No sunroof spec'd out in this one. You've got your head unit up here with your normal SOS buttons, your lights, etc. And whether there's a door open. Yeah. This seat is set for me. It has the memory adjust as we talked about. Let me bring it up, let me make sure it's comfortable, and let's have a look in the back. Lots of space here in the back. It has that privacy glass in the S version, so it is maybe a bit dark. The S seats are good, solid, you can't see through them, but they're not too restrictive. You've got some nice cutouts in the wheel, but I'm 187 odd centimeters, 6'2", lots of space, and it has the netting. Double vents, doesn't have the climate control system in this version, and you have a 12 volt and 2 USB Type-Cs. Small transmission tunnel, nothing to talk about. Has that diamond effect stitching in the seats. It has 2 USB in the back and 1 USB in the front, and it has a armrest. Cannot find the cup holders. I think it must be whether it's an option or a pack, and I recently talked about this in my Q4 video where I talk about everything as an optional extra, etc. And I got some interesting feedback as to people who buy Audis want to spec it the way they want it. Obviously Audi are happy to charge them for it, so if you didn't want a sunroof, you don't have to take the sunroof for it. And some models of cars, if you go for the higher trim, the sunroof is automatically included. So that's it's a choice that people can make. This doesn't have the rear climate control. The retail on this car is 119,000 euros. Doesn't have blind spot. So it depends on what ticks your box and what you want. Great space in the back here, great height. I would like it with a sunroof, but this version doesn't have it, but you can get it. Let's take it out for a spin. What's it like driving the Audi e-tron S? Beautiful, but you feel the weight. It's a large vehicle, but they handle it very well. At over 2,600 kgs, it takes a lot to get this going, and with the boost mode it can go to 0 to 100 in just over 4 seconds, and without boost mode it'll do it in 5.1 seconds. Now, there are faster EVs out there, don't get me wrong. It's not the most efficient. WLTP for the Audi e-tron S is for 375 kilometers. You're probably going to be getting near to 300. On its own website, it talks about the kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, and it's ranging between 27.3 and 28.4. So it's a heavy car. It's not that efficient. With that refresh that's coming out, they are changing the battery setup in it, and so you should be getting better mileage out of it. But it's a luxury electric SUV, and if you're buying this at nearly 120,000 euros, are you worried about efficiency? Potentially not. It's a stunning car, really fast if you need it to be fast. Do you need a large SUV to be fast? And if you go fast with it, it probably is going to make it even more inefficient. So yeah, it's an interesting one. The Audi e-tron S can tow unbraked 750 kgs, braked 1800 kgs, so there's another market for it. I know they sell a lot of these, not specifically the S version, but definitely the e-tron version in the Nordic countries. They like their all-wheel drive. And speaking about all-wheel drive, this is a tri-motor. What they've done is they've taken the electric motor out of the regular e-tron and put that up the front, and they've put 2 slightly smaller electric motors in the rear. Combined, the rear has more power than the regular e-tron, and normally it's running in with those electric motors. It is a quattro, so it is all-wheel drive, but it will figure out where it needs to do it, and if you need the extra power, it'll activate the front motor. Then it also does some torque vectoring on the rear because it has an electric motor on each of the rear wheels. So lots going on back there. It has, as I mentioned, 500 brake horsepower with the boost, normally around 430 brake horsepower. 0 to 100 in 4.5 seconds with the boost and 5.1 without. Top speed of 210 kilometers an hour. And it has a maximum 973 Newton meters of torque. So it is like super, for such a large vehicle, it is super fast. The total kilowatt output of the 3 electric motors is 370 kilowatts. And usable battery, it has an 86.5 kilowatt hour battery. That's the usable element of it. But overall, what's it like to drive? The seats are amazing. The ride comfort, because it has air suspension and electronic adaptive shock absorbers. So comfort-wise, you can't beat it. Build quality-wise, it's amazing. It's a lot of money, but you are, in my opinion, you're getting what you paid for. And we talked about this recently in the optional extras. If you want a sunroof, it's available for you. I would like blind spot. I'm not sure if that's available. I'd like wireless Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. That's all wired at the moment. You're starting to see the fact that it is a small bit of an older vehicle. But overall, the quietness, the refinement, You can see why they sell these. What else would you put this up against? Like, there is no real performance. There's the Tesla Model X performance, but this is much more refined. Isn't as efficient, isn't as fast. But if you're looking for refinement, you'd be going for this. If you've got kind of money to spend. If you're looking for distance, you're going to go the Tesla Model X. And there's more and more cars coming to the market. Performance electric vehicles, it's not their strong point. Obviously with battery, they're going to be using lithium ion in the performance versions and the other battery makeups if you're looking for better value or longer range or cheaper price point. Hopefully you've enjoyed today's review. Let me know in the comments if you are considering the Audi e-tron. Are you going for the S version? Are you treating yourself? Hopefully you've enjoyed it, as I mentioned. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button, and remember, if you think an EV is for you, leave it to me and I'll review. Thanks so much for watching.